Hello. Hello, Allison. I love it. Hello, Lena. I know your oven is hot already. You're ready. I know you are. Hello, Miriam. All right, Debbie. Hi. Hi, Tina. All right, we got Patty. Patty's getting her stove ready. I love it. Hello. All right, hi, Mike. All right. Y'all, this class is going to be a great one. And hopefully I don't drop anything. Who knows? Maybe I will. Today's going to be great. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's anytime I'm going out for lunch, it's one of my favorite things to order, which is like a meatball sub type of deal, a meatball Sammy. That's my sandwich of choice. What about you, Meg?
Yeah, I was gonna say I had a hyper fixation on a specific fast food meatball sub as a child, so it's always got a place in my heart.
Exactly. In between my shifts when I used to work for the hospital, the highlight of my day was a meatball parm. Okay, you can never get me to betray meatball parm because it's my favorite. And today, in particular, we're doing a braised meatball sandwich. With the bread, we're gonna smear some pesto on it, and we're gonna add a little smokiness. We're adding some smoked mozzarella to go along with our beef meatballs, okay? Beef is what's for dinner tonight. And thank goodness we have Northeast beef with us. Their American ranchers make this beautiful quality beef that is indescribable, okay? So today we're gonna work with beef. I'm gonna get my pan nice and hot as we get our beef meatballs together, okay, you all? I hope you all are having a beautiful Tuesday. It's a gorgeous day today, I gotta say. In Seattle, it's not too cloudy, it's not too rainy, it's not too hot. It's like the perfect weather. I like a little breeze, you know? We're almost completely into fall, so that's what I'm really excited for. So over here, we're gonna start off getting some of our garlic together. We're gonna smash some garlic. I love the sound of smashing garlic, y'all. You just know it's gonna be super fragrant. And a quick note, whenever you have these cloves, it might be a pain to just peel it all individually. Just smash it. It takes the skin right off. You could do 3 cloves. I like to do at least like 6-ish cloves. I like a lot of garlic. I'm a garlic gal.
Yeah, I like that too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, in a previous class, someone asked about if, some people don't really feel comfortable smashing it with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
And you can smash it with anything. A cup, a mug, a bowl.
Yeah, you could do anything.
Yeah.
A rolling pin.
Yep.
You can even use just another board, put them all together and just do a quick weight on it. And that just smashes all your cloves.
Efficient.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't know about y'all. Are y'all super garlic people? Are you more conscious about it? And you're like, ooh, I don't want my breath to smell, so I'll put like 2, 3. I like a lot of garlic. I'm shameless with my garlic. All right. All of our garlic is smashed. Now we're just going to do like a quick mince. We're gonna put these in our meatballs, y'all. So you kind of want it as fine as possible. And we're gonna chop up some basil after this as well. There we go. Let's get a little bit more garlic here. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna want it a little bit chunky within your meatballs, just not too big of chunks, right? You just want enough where you get like little bites of garlic.
Chef Lisa, have you ever put too much garlic in anything?
No, never. Never.
Couldn't happen.
My peers, my family members might disagree though. They might be like, no, she's putting way too much garlic. She's garlic crazy. But like I know it sounds bad, but I never follow a recipe to the T when it comes to garlic. Like they'll put 4 pieces, 2 pieces. Like sometimes they put double digits, which is probably a bad thing. But I restrained myself for this one. So the recipe calls for like 2 to 3. I did 6.
Okay.
So not too bad, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, we need to figure out like the Chef Lisa garlic conversion equation. You know, it's like going from Celsius to Fahrenheit.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of garlic. I'm probably a scary amount of garlic, you all, so don't be like me. Do an average amount of garlic. But if you're a garlic fiend like me, I love so much garlic, y'all. It's my thing. A lot of garlic, a lot of onion too. I just like all my alliums. I do not discriminate against any of the garlic and the onion because it just makes everything so flavorful and it's so simple, you know? All right, now that our garlic is done, we're gonna get some basil. And look at this. Ugh. I love the smell of basil when we chop it up, y'all. Get a little bruising in it. Look at this. This is going to be so good in our marinara sauce and in our meatballs. You just want a little bit chopped up. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the best part for me is like, you don't have to like make a perfect chiffonade or a perfect chop of the basil. You just want enough where you don't have like a big old leaf that you're chewing on, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think kind of like thinking about this as a weekday meal, like chopping basil is such a nice thing to do at the end of the day. Little aromatherapy.
Yes, and honestly, I feel like this kind of recipe is just very family friendly. You know what I mean? It's an easy weeknight type of dinner. We're always having beef within our fridges. Like, I don't know about you, but it's definitely a staple for me. So it's just something that you can easily whip out and get creative and use any type of recipe with having ground beef.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's like the key. Just keeping some in the freezer and remembering to pull it out before you go to work.
Before your mom gets home.
Yeah, you gotta pull it out before mom gets home.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I forgot and like I would be reading a book and my mom would be like, hey, like she'd call me on the actual phone back before our cell phones on the actual phone and I'd have to turn off the internet, right? Because she'd be like, well, you can't get any calls if you're always on the internet. And I would unplug the internet and she'd be like, okay, you need to defrost the beef right when you get home. You're home, defrost it. And then I kind of get distracted by the internet, y'all. Like it was when the internet was like super new.
Yeah.
You know, dial-up was super new. AOL was super new, and you'd watch like all the music videos, like, and that's when my mom would be like,
couple hours go by, you hear the car door shut.
Yeah, you'd read an article, you read a book, you'd watch a music video, and before you know it, you forgot to defrost the beef, and your mom's super angry. Yeah, that kind of terrorizes me, but it's okay. Now we remember to safely defrost beef by just like putting it in the fridge the night before, and you're good to go. So don't forget, if your mom tells you to defrost the beef, go ahead and just throw it in the fridge. Okay? That's all you got to do. All right, y'all. So this is what we got. We got our beef, our garlic, and our basil. We're going to throw in some breadcrumbs, some parm. Any type of parm will do. Whatever you got in the fridge. It doesn't have to be fancy because we're making the meatballs anyways. And I would say about a teaspoon-ish of black pepper and kosher salt and some dried oregano. Then I want you to beat 1 egg. We've already beaten 1 egg here. And we're going to throw that in. And now we're just going to mix it up. Especially when your kids are at home or your family members, this is an easy thing they can do. You know, go ahead and just mash the beef all together. One less thing for you to do, you know? And right now you can already smell it. Get it well integrated here. You really want to make sure you mix it well where there's like basil, garlic, a little crunch in every bite. All right, y'all. Look at that. I think we did it. Looks gorgeous. Well mixed. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, Let's go ahead and add a little bit more oil to our pan here. And we're just gonna scoop a little spoon's worth of meatball. Maybe about, how about this big? Like a tiny,
A little golf,
palm
bigger than a
size.
golf ball-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a golf ball-ish. Palm size or golf ball size. Like eyeball size, a little bigger. Tiny bit bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's
Yeah. Just so it's like easy to cook, you know, and that way you can eat as many meatballs as you want versus having like 4 gigantic meatballs. You have like 8 or 12 mini meatballs.
Meatball burger.
Meatball burger. You can do a bolognese with these meatballs too. Like smash them up. If it's leftovers, you could smash them up, put them in your pasta. You can make it a stir fry. There's a lot of things you can do with this beef. All right. Look at these little meatballs, y'all. They're so cute. So dainty. So we got the pan hot to about like a medium high. We used about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. You can use any neutral oil. And you just want it nice and browned. Because we want it to like braise, you know.
You want to lock in that flavor.
Lock in that flavor. And so some people might hear like braise a lot and you're like, what is braised? I don't know how to explain braise. Braise is simply just browning your meat. And then after you get like that nice sear, you're locking in those flavors and then you're slow cooking it in some liquid, like a low amount of liquid, just so it could steam and completely cook through. So that's what we're doing. We're braising the meatballs today.
And like searing it rather than just cooking them right in the liquid, you're adding like, you know, that like toasty browning. I don't really know how to explain like,
Yeah.
but that like Maillard reaction, and then that like that's gonna just infuse the sauce as well.
Exactly. And sometimes when you could simmer it. I have seen some people do it in a recipe where they just like throw the meatballs raw into the sauce, but it almost gets kind of soggy, right? Like I feel like a braising, like a sear is just much better, you know?
It's one pan either way. So.
Yeah, it's one pan. It's still very simple. You don't have to use all your pans, but this way it just locks in everything for you. So you kind of want to cook it about a minute and a half. You just want that browning. Gonna make the temperature go a little higher.
You want to hear that?
You want to sizzle.
That sizzle.
Sizzle, sizzle. All right, y'all, we're almost done. Wow, we made a lot of meatballs out of this. And this is just 1 pound of ground beef, y'all. This is just 1 pound of ground beef. We chopped up some basil, about like a cup's worth. And then we put some garlic, salt and pepper, some breadcrumbs, some parm, so that way you have a lot of flavor in addition to your ground beef. And the best part is ground beef has a lot of protein, and it's just very versatile. You can do a lot of things with the ground beef. Look at that, y'all. So gorgeous. I don't know about you, but it's always in my fridge. So that's the best part, is that you can go ahead and look in your freezer, and most likely you have it.
Chef Lisa, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why do we add breadcrumbs to
Yeah.
meatballs?
Breadcrumbs and eggs is just like a good binding agent. It just brings everything together. That's all it is. The ground beef will fall apart and the egg kind of sticks your breadcrumbs together, and it's just a good binder. You should try meatballs without an egg or without breadcrumbs. You will see a huge, huge difference, and you will regret it for sure. Because the ground beef will cook, but then it'll start falling apart, especially when you add like garlic and basil. It will surely fall apart. All right.
I heard someone who uses crackers,
Ooh,
Just, like,
yes.
crumble them up, roll whatever, however you get them nice and fine, and then it's like bringing that salty element as well. But that's smart.
Yes,
Good
I
use for
have heard
stale
that.
crackers.
Yes, I have heard that saltine crackers are a great way to do that as well. You don't always have to use breadcrumbs. And honestly, you can make your own breadcrumbs as well. Sorry, y'all, gotta wash my hands real quick handling that beef. All right. Yeah, so you can use stale bread. Like if you have a baguette from a day or two ago, you can go ahead and just crunch that up and make that into your breadcrumbs as well. It's really easy to do. You don't have to go to the grocery store and find one of those. And here we go, y'all. Look at that. I don't know if y'all see it, but we have some browning right here going on. A little browning action.
I can smell the parm. It smells so good.
It's delicious. I'm so ready. And then after we brown it, y'all, you're just gonna flip. We're gonna flip again. There we go. You want that nice crust. We can even lower it just a tad, maybe to 4. Gorgeous. You could smell it in the kitchen. I don't know about y'all, but if you're cooking along, you definitely smell that garlic in that parm.
Would that smell make you turn your head from the internet?
It would. It would. My mom would make so many Vietnamese things. I would dream about having like Italian food or having like American food. I would like crave a burger so bad because she's like, we've got food at home. You don't need to get a burger or anything like that. So it's really nice to have the opportunity to cook things like this and like have it in my everyday life. Oh my goodness, y'all. Look at all the browning. Now we're just gonna give it about a minute or so, and then we're gonna start on our marinara sauce. Y'all see the crust? Little color, that's what you want. You want it on both sides. Now, you're wanting just the crust, you just wanna seal the flavor, you're not cooking it completely through just searing it. Okay, we're gonna cook it within the sauce. That's the second part to the braising, where we make the marinara sauce, and that steam, that's gonna cook it, as well as add a little flavor. All right, let's give it about a minute or so.
I have a question from the chat. Someone asked what your favorite dish was that your mom cooked.
Oh my goodness. So my mom, there's so many things. She would do like some stir fry. Oftentimes, that was my favorite. She would do like beef chow fun, and you get like slivers of beef. It wasn't classic Vietnamese, but she had a lot of Chinese coworkers and Thai coworkers, and so they would do like a beef chow fun.
What else is in there? What else would be in there? Like
it'd be like a
and-
gravy. So beef chow fun can be like dry or wet beef chow fun. So my mom would basically get these noodles. We'd have like sliver of rice noodles that are kind of wide. Reminder, like they're kind of like a pappardelle. And then she'd either get like ground beef or she'd get like slivers of beef, and she'd like mix it together. And then from the fat of the beef, she'd make a gravy out of it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you get like a little tapioca starch or flour and mix it with the beef fat, and it would make a gravy, and it was gorgeous, y'all. It's just like noodles, beef, and gravy. You really could not go wrong. That was definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, that sounds like simple but perfect.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so many cool things that she would do. Yeah, that was her thing.
Just not burgers.
Just not burgers. She would not. Sometimes though, like she would make American spaghetti though. Okay, she'd make. Or if you guys have been to Jollibee's, I don't know if you guys have been to Jollibee's or like been to a Filipina kitchen that might have spaghetti on the menu. That was my mom. She would add sugar to spaghetti. Okay, she would like put the beef in with the spaghetti and the bolognese sauce, but she would have sugar. So like when I went to my friend's house and I actually had Italian food, it did not taste the same. I'm like, where's the sugar? And they're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Why would you have sugar? I'm like, I don't know. My mom would make spaghetti and meatballs and sweeten everything up. That's just like the Vietnamese way. You know, they would add sugar. My mom would add fish sauce. She would add like spices, like chilies.
That sounds good though.
Yeah. It was good, but it was like, Mom, that's not how you make it. But that's how she would make it. And so when I actually met like my Italian neighbors, because I lived in Massachusetts for a little bit, so like a bunch of Italian neighbors, right, you guys? And I was like, why does your spaghetti taste so weird? And she's like, you guys are the weird ones. Like, we don't add that stuff. Like, We add basil, not Thai chilies. I was like, oh, well now I know. Ready, y'all? It's nice and cooked. We already got a sear. Let's start on the marinara. So you can make your own marinara, or if you're like me and I got kind of like a tight crunch, you know, within the time that I have to make dinner, I like to just use canned marinara, nice glass jar, and call it a day. So you're gonna toss your meatballs in it real quick, combine that fat that you got from the beef. You can just smell it. It's gorgeous. I love a good marinara. Do you guys have a marinara that you like? I like marinara that already has garlic and basil in it, if I were to get like a jarred marinara. So I don't know about you.
Yeah, garlic, basil. Yeah, I like the roasted garlic.
I like a roasted garlic. That's my favorite flavor. What about you guys? What do y'all like with your marinara? We're gonna add a little chili flakes. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's optional, but I like a little bit.
That's coming from the Thai chili spaghetti.
This is
history.
the least amount of spice I got. Okay, this is the least amount that I can do. You don't have to. I get it. It could be a little scary. You don't have to. But I find that like chili flakes that are in like Safeway or like any grocery store, like local grocery store, it doesn't have as much spice as you would if you go to like an Asian store and you get like dried flakes.
It's like different types of chilies.
It is. It's quite mild. So you could be like me and add a little extra. I put like about a teaspoon-ish, but you don't have to if you don't want to. All right, we're just gonna give this a good stir. And I like a little black pepper with my marinara. I don't know if y'all are like that, but I like a little black pepper. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit into there. And our meatballs are looking good, y'all. Look at that. Looking gorgeous. All right, so we're gonna cover this and give it some time to cook. Maybe about 8 minutes, 7 minutes or so. And in the meantime, we're gonna work on something really fun. Pesto. That is one of my favorite condiments of all the sandwiches. Debbie said yes. Elena, yep, I see nods. Yes, thumbs up. I love pesto. Pesto is so versatile. You can literally use anything for pesto. Right, Chef Meg?
Yeah, totally. We're making it from scratch.
We're making it like the Nonas.
Yeah.
We were gonna use a blender, and Meg was like, you know, be smart, modern pesto. And I was like, you're smart. You're right.
Try it out.
Let's
Try
do
something
it.
new.
Try something new. Yes.
But I think, yeah, store-bought is fine. I think
Store-bought
that's
is fine.
something great about this recipe is like taking store-bought ingredients like the marinara or pesto and kind of like doctoring them up a little bit.
Yeah.
To make it your own, like for
Exactly.
a delish dinner.
And the great thing is, like, if you feel unsure and you've already like made this recipe and you want to try something else and you still have beef in your fridge, they have recipes online that are freaking delicious that you have to check out. So that's what you got to do, anybeef.org, and they have a bunch of recipes for you to click and figure out what works for you. All right, y'all, let's do this pesto. I'm so excited. So first, let's get our garlic together. So again, let's do a little garlic smash. And this one I didn't go crazy with the garlic, y'all. Don't worry. Since it's pesto, I want all the flavors to really be highlighted, right?
Yeah, it's hard with the raw garlic too. You can go overboard with the raw.
Exactly, especially with the pesto. Like a pesto, you can do so many things with it. Any type of herb, really. Would it technically be called pesto? Maybe not, but...
Maybe.
Right?
I think it still is.
Yeah, some people do pine nuts. Today we've got pumpkin seeds, which will provide like a nice flavor, a good little crunch in there too.
More affordable.
Yeah, pine nuts are crazy expensive, but they are delicious.
They are nice.
But I feel like pine nuts kind of give, or pumpkin seeds kind of give a similar flavor, like similar texture. Not the same, but
they're pretty
similar.
neutral.
Yeah.
There's just like a light nuttiness. I think walnuts would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never done peanuts. That's the only one I would
do
like-
peanuts.
You would?
I would. Like, I would do peanuts. If I were to have like a little twist on the pesto, you can always use any type of basil. Thai basil, I'm sure, would work. Peanuts would work. And that'd be kind of like a fun Asian pesto. But if you're doing classics, it's usually with pine nuts.
Ooh, I like that.
But yeah, it is. We could do that. But this time, we're changing it up and using pumpkin seeds. A little twist on a classic. So we got our garlic here. Let me move this out the way so y'all can see. All right. So we got our garlic. We're gonna put a little salt. We could put a little pepper in there too. And we're just gonna get in there. Have y'all used a mortar and pestle? Do you have one in your home? And what do you use it for? Let me know in the chat. I know for my mom, she doesn't like to use a spice grinder. Like, she uses it for her coffee only. But for a mortar and pestle, she uses it like for salads. Like, our Vietnamese salads are kind of where you use a mortar and pestle. Or for peppercorns, she just like throws peppercorns in and like smashes them. You know what I mean? Instead of getting a spice grinder, she likes like chunky peppercorns.
Yeah, I do like a chunky peppercorn.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that with pesto, like, this is the best way to make it, because you're like, the way that the oils are released by using a mortar and pestle, it's like supposedly better than blending it, where it's like kind of tearing up rather than smashing the leaves.
Yeah, I could see that. This like releases the oils a little better, gives you a little bit more flavor. All right, so we got garlic and salt in there. Let's put in our pumpkin seeds. We'll do like a little at a time. And it's a good arm workout. You can get a lot of stuff done while you're doing this. And you already smell and look at the pumpkin seeds. Look at that, y'all. Halfway there. Pumpkin and garlic. And then as that's happening, of course, we'll take a quick look. Look at our meatballs, y'all. I don't know if you could see. Gorgeous. So it's cooking down. We're almost there. All right. And as you're getting the pumpkin seeds integrated, it might not like combine as well as pine nuts, but you'll have a nice crunchy texture to it, which I like. I like a little crunchiness to our pesto. We're gonna add a little bit of basil, like about a cup-ish of basil. And we're just gonna bruise that basil to go along with our pumpkin seeds and our garlic. You're just kind of pounding it down.
Sorry, I really put you to work on this one.
No, you're good. You're good.
The
I love a
arms are
good arm
working.
workout. I didn't go
Yeah.
to the gym today, so it's all good. Plus, it kind of makes you really appreciate making pesto, like eating pesto.
Yeah.
You know? Usually we eat it like, we have so many things at our convenience. It's kind of like classic to not appreciate it as much. But seeing like the work go into it, you're like, I really appreciate the pesto.
It's kind of like whipping whipped cream by hand with a whisk. It really makes you appreciate the electric whisk or the
Yes.
standing.
Exactly. All right, so we got the basil all nice and bruised up and combined with our garlic and our pumpkin seeds. So it's pretty nice. I don't know if y'all see it here. There you go. You see the garlic. There you go. Garlic, pumpkin seeds, and basil. Now we're gonna add our favorite part, my favorite part, the parm. The good stuff,
Oh, yeah.
okay? It's the good stuff. I'm about to just add a bunch here. Get it nice and mixed up. Are y'all a fan of pesto? Do y'all make pesto at home? Let me know in the chat. I'm excited to see what you guys have opinions about with pesto, or have used pesto, or made pesto.
Yeah, a lot of our friends love pesto.
Yeah.
Miriam says that if you don't have basil, fresh parsley makes a great pesto. And yeah,
Ooh.
we love like different pestos. Use what's on hand, you know? You don't have to run out to the store.
That's true. I love that. Parsley, you can use any herb. I can see parsley being a really good pesto. Let me just scrape this up a little bit. And sometimes things do stick to the bottom of your mortar and pestle, and so just go ahead and scrape a little off as you're blending the flavors together. I already smell it. It smells so good. I like that. And we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to finish this up. And here's where the pesto fully integrates and becomes your nice spread that everyone will really love. And look at that, y'all. Your pesto is coming together. Look at that. The mortar and pestle, I think, did its thing, y'all.
I can see like the green on there. I mean, I can't see it very well from here, but
Yeah.
like you can see that basil oil that's come out from just like mashing it.
The infusion of everything, the scraping against, and it really combines well with the parm. And at first, I wasn't sure if the pumpkins would combine, but they're already in. You can't even tell where the pumpkin seeds are. I think that's the best part. You're like, oh, there are pumpkin seeds in here. That makes sense. That's fun. All right. So our pesto, I'd say, is essentially done at this point. I'm just going to smash around a little bit more. All right. I think it's done, y'all. I'm going to scrape this into a bowl real quick.
Oh yeah, that looks nice and cheesy.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. There's our pesto, y'all. Nice little pesto right there. Yeah, there we go. Got a little crunch. That's good. We'll put a little extra salt and pepper here. Give it a little good mix. And we got our pesto. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get a few things together here. As our meatballs are getting steamed, we're gonna cut our mozz real quick. So the great thing about this recipe is we don't just have any ordinary mozz. This is smoked mozz. You get a little smoky flavor to it. You don't have to worry about liquid smoke, which some people do. You get a smoked mozz, and it's a little bit sturdier than your normal mozz. Some mozz is like a little, like not runny, but they're a little bit more moist. This one is pretty sturdy. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to worry about it like sliding off your sandwich too much. So this is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm interested to try this. Like, it's fun to have a little spin on a dish that you're really familiar with.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna make like thin slices.
Can I try a little piece of the
Yes,
smoked mozz?
of course. We'll try it together. Have y'all had smoked mozz
Thank
before?
you.
I like to think of it probably like a smoked provolone. It tastes like
Yeah,
tastes
Lena's
good,
trying it.
like a smoked meat,
Mm-hmm.
but it's cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Y'all should go out there, look for smoked meats. You might have to go to like somewhere where it's more charcuterie based or like specialty based. I don't know if it's like that easy to find.
Ooh, yeah, like I had a smoked hot dog,
Mm-hmm.
and it was incredible.
Ooh, that sounds
But
good.
yeah, that's nice. And that one you can really taste, like it tastes like wood smoke. It doesn't taste like that
Mhm.
fake liquid smoke flavor.
It's like a light hickory.
Mm-hmm.
which goes really well with your meatballs, y'all. All right. Our meatballs are done. You want to check them at 160. So let's see what we got here. We got our handy dandy digital thermometer. I'm just gonna go in right there, and it's perfect. It's at around 190, so you just want to at least at 160. That is your goal.
Yeah, when you're cooking it this long, like they're gonna go past, but it's always safe to check.
Yes, and that's why you want them small. When you have them big, it would take forever, and it might not reach that temperature. So you got these cute little meatballs. All right, so our mozz is done. And here's our bread. You want a serrated knife to cut your bread. I'm gonna just do it on the side here. There you go. You can do ciabatta, you can do a baguette, you could do a hoagie, whatever your heart desires for this. You just want it sturdy enough where it can hold your meatballs and you can grab a bite together,
Yeah, slice of white bread is gonna fall right apart.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a potato roll can be good too, but I prefer a ciabatta or a baguette.
Those ones have a little olive in them.
I
That's
know.
a special. I'm excited to try that.
I know. Isn't that beautiful? Meg got us specialty bread, so it's a baguette that has olive, so you get a little salt in between. I like that. So we're gonna I would say, grab your tops, leave your bottoms out, spread some pesto on your tops here. Oh my goodness, y'all see? Our spread is quite nice. Look at that pesto. Pestified. Gorgeous. Y'all, you could smell the pesto now. At this point, you want to make sure your oven is nice and hot. You want it at a broil temperature, which is really high heat. Broiling is usually around 440, 450, almost 500. It's really high direct heat. Usually when it's in your oven, it's coming from above, so it's putting all that direct heat onto your sandwich. So that's really what you want. So I'm gonna put my pesto aside. The tops, right? And then we're gonna get these bottoms ready. And we're gonna get it together with a sandwich. So what you wanna do is grab your meatballs, put a little sauce on there, spread it around. Since it's so small, we can put so many meatballs on here, y'all.
Someone said that their Italian grandmother, who taught them how to cook, believes that the smaller the meatball, the more delicious it is. The more potential for deliciousness.
Yes.
Which I'm interested in that theory.
I believe it. I believe their grandma's a genius because grandmas are always right. I will never argue that because I want to be on grandma's good side. I'm sorry. Grandma knows best, okay? She has the experience. And, why not? If you have the big ones, it's going to be tough, Here are the little ones. I'll show it to this camera so you see how I did it. Bam. Sorry. There you go. So you just want to make sure the bottom's covered, get your meatballs together, and then put the sauce at the top. And then we're going to get our mozz on top as well. I'm just going to put it over kind of like a sheet. Good night, meatballs. We'll see you in a second. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing here. Scoop up some sauce. Make a nice base for your meatballs. Gorgeous. And then we have 1, 2. I think I could fit around 6. Let's see if we can. 4, 5. Come on, get on there. We're almost there. And 6.
Ooh.
You guys, there we go. And then get a little bit of sauce. And you all see how we have leftovers here, right? So like we said, leftovers, you can freeze them. You can freeze the meatballs for later. You can put them in the fridge the next day. It could be part of a salad. Chop up the meatballs.
Meatball salad.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Yeah, do like a Italian like salad, kind of like a cob, but like you pick meatballs, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
chopped
yeah,
meatballs. It could work. Why not? You know, a little salad.
Ooh, like pesto salad.
Pesto salad. Pesto salad. Shave some mozz on there. Shave parm on there. It could be pretty good. All right, we got our sauce. Now we're gonna broil, y'all. Direct, intense heat onto this mozz. We want it melty. We want it melty. There we go.
Yeah, that's a good amount of mozz. I like that.
That's a lot of
how
mozz.
you work.
Look at all that mozz, y'all. I love it. I'm a cheese gal. My body doesn't like cheese, but I love cheese. So that's all that matters. That's when you get a little dietary supplement, and that'll help you. All right, here we go. We're just gonna give it maybe like 3 minutes or so to toast up.
Okay.
Are y'all excited? I'm excited. I have never used a motor and pestle for pesto, so that was a really fun experience. I suggest y'all try it. Even if a blender is super easy, it's kind of nice just to take a second, slow down in life, and just really appreciate the labor that it takes to make a beautiful pesto.
Yeah, watch a transformation in real time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we should taste test these meatballs. I don't know about you, Meg. Let's taste test
sure.
it before we eat it as a sandwich.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One for you. Because you got to taste test it, you know? Like, it's the transition, right? Like, you eat the meatball. Is the meatball good? Okay, we have the pesto. Pesto's great. Put the mozz together, and it's like all one beautiful symphony, you know? I really like that.
Oh, I was gonna say it's hot.
It's hot, yo. It's really hot.
Do you need?
It's good.
Do you need some water?
No, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I got
True
excited.
chef behavior.
It is. Yeah.
But it's good. It's really nicely seasoned. You get the cheesiness in there. Little hit of basil. Nice spicy marinara. It's nice.
Yeah. It's really moist and hearty. Ooh. Whose is that in the corner right there? Patty? Patty, your stuff looks great. Good job. Good job, Patty. All right, who else we got? Holly? Holly's getting ready to show it. Wow.
Oh, yeah,
that's
searing.
gorgeous. Look at that sear. You got it. I love it. Y'all are doing a great job. Good job, y'all.
Ooh,
I'm so excited.
I'm getting the garlic. The
Yeah.
extreme amount of garlic in the meatball. It's so good. Yeah, these are really nice.
Yeah. I feel, especially because you're cooking everything down anyways, so it's kind of, the garlic kind of hides sometimes. So I really want little bits of garlic in my meatball. That's what I prefer. Some people like to mince it real well, but it kind of disappears. So I like the little bite in garlic. Yeah.
Super flavorful.
Yeah. And then we have our pesto. If I could show y'all the oven, I turned on the light and I was hoping, maybe they can see it. Okay, you guys can't see the oven, but right now I'm watching the melting of the cheese cover the meatball. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It's just slowly folding over your meatball. I gotta say, it's like you're just putting a nice cover over your meatball, saying good night. You're gonna love it when you wake up, all the smots enveloped within the meatball.
I would say enrobed. A
Enrobed.
meatball enrobed. Oh,
Enrobed.
here we go. Lena's got her sandwich.
Whoa, Lena.
beautiful
Yes, I love the
basil
pesto. Ooh, she got ciabatta. I love ciabatta bread, y'all. Ciabatta's one of my favorites. I don't know if y'all have a favorite bread to go with Italian meatballs or with your meatball sub. My husband loves a sesame bun. He loves the crustiness of a sesame bun that's kind of like a hoagie sesame. And then it sucks up all the meatball juiciness. I like a Italian herb kind of bread. Or sometimes even a baguette. That's my thing. I don't know about y'all. Y'all let me know in the chat what your favorite is, what you guys like to do.
I struggle with the baguette just because the meatballs could start shooting out. You know, it's hard with a tough bread. You do need like the ciabatta's good for like biting into it and getting a meatball. That's just me though.
And here's a secret, y'all. I don't know if you know this. This is like a little bakery secret. At least what I learned in my bakery was when your bread is kind of like, if you buy a baguette and it's a little drier than you want it to be, but it's still good bread, you spray it with water. You get a water bottle spray. You spray it down and it gets nice and soggy and you're like, that's gross, that's never gonna be good. But then when you put it in the oven for like 350 or like close to 375 for like 5 to 8 minutes, it's solid, y'all. It's crusty.
Yeah, I've done that, but not even a spray. Like I just put it under the water in the sink, like just rinse it off.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
It's a little stale bread.
It revives your bread from everything, y'all. If you think you're only going to be able to get breadcrumbs from it, it's beautiful. It's crusty. And I think
it looks like John adjusted our camera.
It's ready, y'all. Should we look? Let's look and see. Ooh. Look at that. Can y'all see the meatball? Okay, I'll bring it over here to the main camera. Let's bring it over to the main camera here real quick. Gorgeous. And here we go. Let's build our sandwich real quick. Y'all see that melts? Look at that cheese melts. Yeah, grab my spatula, please. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 y'all. Ooh. That's nice. Look at that melt. Look at that cheese pull. My favorite part. The cheese. Okay, you got to get a little cheese pull. And Meg got me a beautiful spatula. Thank you, Meg. Should I double it? Sometimes it can get a little delicate, y'all, but here we go. Look at this. Look at this goodness. Put your pesto on. And look. That's a pretty nice sandwich, right? I gotta say, it's pretty nice. I'll cut it in half here real quick. Ooh. Mmm. That's delicious, y'all. I love that. Mmm.
Is it hot?
I never learned my lesson. I never learned my lesson, y'all.
How's your pesto?
It's really good. It's nice and garlicky. You get the basil. You get a little crunch to your pumpkin seeds. So like as you're eating the meatballs and the cheese and the bread, you get a little pumpkin crunch. That's really good, y'all. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Thank you to Northeast Beef for sponsoring this and giving us this wonderful high quality beef. I'm sorry, y'all, that was really hot. I just want to thank you all for being with me. As silly as I am, seeing your faces are the highlight of my week. So I'm just so grateful to see you every time. Next class, we have breakfast for the week. Tomorrow, 9:18, I will be here with you again. I can't wait to see you. Bye. See ya. Have a good day.